Hello, my name is John. I want to say thank you for taking the time to watch this quick, hopefully quick, video that I'm making regarding the Strymon Magneto. Now, I never expected to get this on YouTube, but somebody requested that I play with some of the other functions on this. So I made a video about some time ago, I don't remember when, where I was kind of just showing about showing this really cool delay module, and I actually really like it. It's very clean, has great reverb, and it's a different delay module than everybody else's delay module because it's based on a 4-head tape delay, if you will. Just reading that up there, kind of obvious, but it's got some other features to it that are kind of interesting, and I don't play with them all that much. And the reason I don't is because I didn't really buy it for that reason. I bought it as a echo delay in the truest of senses. However, it does do some other fun little things that are kind of interesting. Now, I don't play with them that often, and I'm going to kind of take this from the approach of just like a hobbyist, not an expert. I'm certainly not Mylar. I'm certainly not DivKit. I'm certainly not Cuckoo in the capacity of my expertise. So I'm going to do this from the position of the hobbyist, somebody who just enjoys playing with these things, having fun with them, throwing up videos on YouTube so other hobbyists can enjoy, and maybe if somebody gets a kick out of what I do, they can glean some information. And I don't want to prattle on. I don't want to go smash that like and all that nonsensical garbage and whatever. This is the module. I'm going to do my best to show you what it does in this particular function. So somebody asked me about these two features up here. So we've got the echo, we got loop, and we got sample. Now, for right now, I'm going to skip over loop because I'll be honest, I still don't really get it. I don't really get the difference between loop and sample. I've seen Strymon play with it. It's kind of cool. But there is a difference, but I still don't really get the difference. So I'm going to go right to sample because sample just makes so much more sense to me to play with. So my patch is basically this. I've got the Verbus. You can't really see it. I don't feel like moving my tripod. Yeah, I've got the Verbus Foundation oscillator going into the Verbus amp and tone, going into the Strymon Magneto. It is being sequenced with a Stilson hammer. And then my envelopes are being generated by the Roland 540, the Roland Moleco envelope LFO. And then it's going into my my little Mackie Pro FX mixer. And periodically, you are going to hear me take a sip of coffee because I like coffee. Also, a couple other things. The way this patch is set up. So you need this guy right here, which is kind of tangled up. So this clock right here, this fourth clock out, is going into this play button, and it's being used in the transport features right there. So every time, whenever we go to sample, which is right there, and that's having, we're going to pop that out too because that's unnecessary. That was actually what I just pulled out was going into the tap right here, and I was clocking this. Usually when I'm using it in echo mode, I clock it with my Stilson hammer or whatever just to kind of keep the delay taps synchronized so it's not like all over the place. And again, I really like delays. I have the Verbus multi-delay, and I also have Typhoon, and I have Monsoon, and I have Mimeophone. And I love delay. It's just this weird thing with me where it's just like, I just love that ethereal delay sound. It's like very spacey, and I really attribute it to listening to a lot of Joe Satriani and Steve Vai when I was growing up. It's just I loved this massive amount of delay, so it's carried with me over into the modular world. I never made it as a guitar player, so I'm not gonna really make it as a modular player, so whatever. But it's fun. What the hell? Anyways, so I hope that made sense. We're gonna play a little bit. I'm gonna try and mute my microphone in and out so that way I'm not talking all over the place. I just realized how much reverb this room has. I actually have a lot of foam paneling I could put up here to make it less reverberating. So hopefully in later videos I'll correct that. So anyways, we understand what's going on. So I'm going to kind of give us some volume. There we go. So now we hear, there's my sequence. Sorry, that was a little jarring. I'm not really gonna go into the whole, like, doing backflips with this. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Kind of obnoxious and boring, to be honest. Okay. So that is the basic sequence. So what's going to happen is this: we're gonna play with the sample feature, and we're gonna kind of just go through all these little bit. Strymon says that this guy, when you turn it, this way, you get longer samples or loops, and if you turn it this way, you get shorter samples and loops. That kind of makes sense because the way this is supposed to be, this is emulating a tape deck. So if you make your tape deck go really, really slow, then you're going to be able to record longer on it. If you make it go really, really fast, you can record less on it. And it gets really interesting. It kind of becomes a little bit of a mental gymnastic because if I record here at that speed, it'll actually play back at the speed that I recorded at. And then if I go back this way, it'll get really super slow. But right now, we're just going to start with the middle. And by the way, this is not like in any way, shape, or form going to be expansive or thorough. I'm just going to kind of show you a little bit how I've been playing with it. Maybe you'll glean something with it. So here we go. Start with that really obnoxious, boring sequence. So the first thing we do is make sure your record levels are up. I do that a lot. Sometimes I forget to do that. And then we're going to go. Okay, so we have our recording, and to show that we have a recording, we're gonna cut the dry out. I'm gonna cut that out. So this is now closed, and then we're gonna open this up. Now you still don't hear anything. Why is that? Because we have to have the playback head, and there it is. Okay, so you can see this little red light is turning on because what's happening is with this guy pulling out, this is setting out a clock at the end of the loop, so it kind of just keeps looping over and over again. Now, I kind of should have clicked that right there because this would make a lot more sense. We'll just kind of go through all three of those here in a minute. One thing is turned down, so I'm not talking over everything. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit better. Okay, cool. So, let's see all this is done. All right, so let's kind of turn that back a little bit, scale that back. And then we're going to kind of... And you get the general idea. Okay, so this is behind the playhead as it's doing the playback. So, this is up front. This is a little bit behind it. It's becoming really super messy now. And it's just this mess. And then we just turn everything down. But you can still hear it's the same sample, if you will. And then if I do this, now if you heard that, I want you to listen to that again. You hear it's kind of stuck, right? It's not like a smooth transition. Now the reason is because there's a feature in this where if you hold this button right here, the tap and splice button, and you hold the transport button, you can actually set that. Shut up. You can actually set that to a scale, and I think I have mine set to pentatonic or whatever. It's in the manual. It's kind of a neat way of kind of setting things up to kind of like getting different sounds out of it, kind of making it a little bit more musical, I guess it were, as opposed to this mass of noise and sound. So mine is, I think it's like set to pentatonic. I don't remember what I set it as. Now, that's on the even taps. Now let's go to the triplet taps. Okay, and the triplet taps, something like that. And I forget the spacing between that. Again, I don't want to redo the manual. I just kind of want to show you what it's doing, you know. Okay. Let me close that out. Okay. So I got to do like a 12-bar blues type of deal with that. And the idea is that you could actually sequence this, so that way it'll kind of play something more musical, as it were. And of course, what's really cool, that still works. Now we're really kind of getting more of a tape function. So get some. You hear that crinkle going on. You can just really make this up. Now, make this sound like an old tape. That's kind of cool. All right, and then I really wanted to get crazy. Do some audio masking, you know, and now we're gonna. It has to wait for the loop to come back. And you get some audio masking, and now you feel like you're, summoning something evil or whatever. Which, of course, we're not going to do that. If it was in Latin, it'd be a little bit cooler, but that's what that does. And by the way, you can actually kind of do this backwards, where if you hit this button before you hit recording, you can actually record it backwards, and then when you turn this off, it'll go back. And then this one, come on, there it goes. Now this is kind of neat because this, depending on where this is, will determine how fast or slow it'll come back. Well, that's kind of cool, right? Now, and all of these are, you can patch all of these, so that way it does kind of all of this, you know? Now, this is a little bit different than, well, actually, it's a lot different. This is a lot different than, say, Morphogene. So Morphogene does granular synthesis. This does not. I mean, I can kind of... That was curious. I shouldn't have done that. That was kind of interesting. I wonder why I did that. Unless it was just stuck in the buffer. I didn't expect it to do that. Kind of an unintended consequence. Anyways, so Morphogene, like I said, is granular, so you're kind of like mangling the audio. This is a little bit more focused on like just kind of having fun with the tape without trying to splice and hack it together. It's like, this is the tape. This is what you have to work with. Hold on, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee that my wife got me. She's awesome. Okay, so let's play with this third button. So we're on the evens and we're on the triplets now. Now we're going to do the shifting. Now the shifting one is kind of cool. What this does is that it kind of, each one of these now becomes a shift in octave as to where the sample is being played. So let's go back to the original. This is the main one. And now, so that's cool. It goes down an octave right here. Okay, so you kind of like get these sub-octave timbres. But this one, I think this is like a, let it say a half octave or 1 octave up, and then you got this one. Maybe there's like 2 octaves or something like that. And there you go. So that's kind of what's going on here. All right, so that's what you got. Now, here's the thing. So if we go out of transport and we go back to delay now, so we talked about that in the last videos, like, these kind of act as four delay taps and actually functions as more of a delay. That is not the case here anymore. As you can see, there's no more delay in here because we're totally doing separate functions altogether. And I think this there's a way you can actually dip switch this in the back, and I actually like to have the transports rather than the delays tapping. Not that it would make a difference in this particular subset. And it just functions as like, this is just functioning as a straight tape. So nothing's happening. And that's what's going on. Now, here's the thing. Whenever you clock out of this, if I hit that, suddenly goes away. It's completely cleared out of the buffer. There's no save. There is no save state with this. So unlike say Typhoon or Monsoon or Clouds, if you will, you can save samples in it. There is no saving. Morphogene, there's no saving in this. This is, when it's gone, it's gone. There's no like, oh, I'm going to save my reel or whatever. This is a very, very organic way of doing things. I like this. It's a lot of fun. And like I said, I like delay modules because you can kind of do a lot of interesting things with them. And the more I get into Eurorack, the more I mean, I've been saying this for how many years now, but I really, really have an affinity towards the analog method because it's like a conversation. It's always a little bit different. So I think I kind of just went through everything very quick and dirty. And now I'm just going to kind of like have a little bit of fun with it, kind of play with it a little bit. One of these days, I'm going to do the loop feature. I truly don't get it. It's weird. It's like, it almost to me feels a little redundant. And it's supposed to be like this generative type of deal. And I read through the manual, I'm like, but how is it different? And maybe one of these days I'll actually get around to doing a loop video about that. But yeah, so that's kind of what it is. Like I said, I wasn't trying to be, terribly thorough, just kind of having a little bit of fun with it. So I'm going to end this with a little bit of a droney type of deal like that. Nothing all that spectacular, just kind of goofing off some of the fun things you can do with this. And, I hope you enjoyed and I hope you got something out of this. Didn't really even cover, the tapping and whatnot, pitch quantizing. These are all more deeper features. Again, and that's the cool thing about Eurorack. I love the fact that they give you so much. I kind of sometimes feel a little guilty if I'm not using all of the features. I'm not Richard Devine. I see what that guy's doing. I'm like, wow, my brain just doesn't work in that capacity to understand some of these features in the capacity that, it's just like I can't wrap my head around it. But anyways, I'm going to shut up now. Thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope you gleaned something out of this. Thank you very much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to go twiddle now. Yeah, that's a neat module, I think. Anyways, just wanted to say thanks again for taking the time. I hope this was informative. I do hope you got some ideas out of it. And like I said, please understand, like, there's so much you can do with this. This was, I think, basic. Looping things over and doing whatever. I'm not going to prattle on, but you can see it's like you've got patches in for speed, wet density, how many repeats you do, of course, in the echo. Whatever. I mean, different clock out sources. This is a very patchable module, and you can do so much with it. Anyways, thanks again. I hope you guys have a great day. I hope you enjoyed that little droney jam, such as it was. And until next time, thank you very much, and good day.